Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
Haha, wubble up a dub dub! Ha
Hey, it's episode 4.
Episode 4, bitches!
Yeah. You've got to do that one more time and then we're done.
Yeah!
For like another 2 years until they release another series.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's a short series. This series, isn't it, Lewis?
It is. It's weird that they were commissioned for 70 episodes and they made 5.
Yeah, and like during the the advertisements, the announcers like only 5 episodes we could muster, half the season you deserve or something like that. Just
yeah.
I mean, I'll take any Rick and Morty I can get. To be honest,
true. I do hope that it doesn't come out that like Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland are like, yeah, we kind of don't like Rick and Morty anymore. We kind of don't want to keep making it, but we're contractually obliged to make another 70 episodes. I hope that doesn't come out, because that would make me very sad.
It certainly would. If they're not in it, just stop.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no point in shitting out shit stuff if you think it's shit.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, have we got an opening statement about this really bizarre, weird episode?
Yes. Yet another scathing subversion of a popular genre. This time, it's fantasy, and dragons have orgasms.
Extremely confusing with a lot of good moments as well. The dragon storyline is an interesting insight into how Rick views himself, though it's still very strange. I think, it's just real weird. The dragon thing, how their entire world is so sex-based, it's just like, it's so... Maybe, I get the feeling it must be some kind of a subversive commentary of, like, somebody makes a fantasy world and the entire world is driven by whoever's in power and their desire for, the red crystal of there and whatever.
Yes.
And so they've said, okay, well, let's just replace that with a real world thing, let's replace it with sex. And that's the route they've gone down.
Yeah. Why is the wizard like such a slut shamer? Why is he like he whips the dragons and
you
shouts,
slut,
yeah. You slut, like what the fuck?
But then I suppose you have to ask the question of, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, him being so anti-sex positive, sex negative is strange. But on the same level, you have to ask, if you were reading some trashy sci-fi novel and he said he was whipping the dragon and saying, "You are a betrayer of the red crystal of blah blah blah." And whatever, and he was saying that as he was doing it. Would you be okay with that?
No, I mean,
if the cornerstone of their civilization is sex or the red crystal of Nethnia.
I mean, I don't know, because like I'm looking at it from an outside perspective. I mean, I think both cases whether it's getting shamed for liking sex or getting shamed for not appreciating the crystal of blah blah blah, I probably think that the wizard was being unreasonable anyway.
That's very true, I suppose. Both of those things are not great.
Yeah, he's whipping the fuck out of a dragon and the dragon is just like,
I guess I just have to take it. I guess this is just how my life is, which is kind of horrible when you think about it.
It's a little bit. Does Rick not see his hypocrisy?
Well, I thought the exact same thing. Because even down to the wizard, it sort of looks a bit like Rick, and he sounds and talks a bit like Rick. They are literally the same.
Yes, and Rick makes fun of them, the fantasy people, because magic has no rules, and yet every single week he just fucking pulls out a MacGuffin.
Yeah, exactly.
And just does whatever he wants. He's like, oh,
Morty, there's no rules, it's magic, haha.
That's clearly a criticism of how ridiculous magic is in the fantasy genre. But yet, Rick can just pull out any fucking thing and just say, oh, it's science! I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
It's pretty hypocritical.
Extremely hypocritical, it's really weird. Okay. Do we like dragons? As shouting into the void, the entity, do we like dragons? Do you have a favourite dragon? Not necessarily from this episode of Rick and Morty, just in general. Do you like dragons?
I do like dragons. My favourite dragon has to be Smaug from The Hobbit.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because he can talk, and he's very cunning, very sneaky. But in general, I think dragons are good. I like dragons.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Good to know. I think I'm kind of meh with dragons. I think if they're like an animal in your world, this fantasy world, then sure. But like, I think if they are sentient ancient beings, I could take them or leave them. Like if they were in Star Trek or whatever, they landed on a planet and they were like, these animals resemble dragons from old storytelling of Earth. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of cool. But I think if they are this sort of, I'm an ancient noble race of dragons, and I've been imbued with power by this wizard, and it's like, yeah, okay, but I think I kind of prefer my stories to have some kind of grounding in reality, even if it's super far removed. It's like,
Right.
the only
So
grounding in
more-
reality that, say, Star Trek has is like, okay, yeah, I mean, their great grandparents us, but I mean that's tenuous, but it's there. Do you know what I mean?
So more so Game of Thrones dragons then, because like
I'm not
the
sure.
the dragons in the books, the Game of Thrones books, are like as intelligent as like dogs, and are more sort
okay.
of like beasts to be tamed, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So
I can
more
get behind
like
that.
that. Yeah. Whereas The Hobbit, it's like the dragons are like creations of like a god, and they can all like speak.
Well, that
No.
depends. Is everybody else also a creation of a god? Does God exist in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, there is a god figure. His name is Eru.
Okay.
And he created men, elves, and the animals.
Okay.
There's another god, but it's like he's like the sort of he's all. I'm trying to explain it properly. You know, the Greek gods.
Mhm.
There's 12 of them,
Okay.
and Zeus is at the top.
Yeah.
So imagine that, right? So
Yeah.
The Zeus in this world is a guy called Manwë.
Okay.
At the same time, there's a god above him who's like supposed to be like the Christian god, if you know what I mean.
Okay. And
So
is
there's
that
a
Eru?
pantheon. Yeah, that's Eru. Yep.
Okay.
And there's a pantheon of gods, but there's also one that doesn't interfere and is like omnipotent.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
created men, and there's another demigod called Aule who created the dwarves.
Okay. Okay.
And the guy who created dragons is a guy called Melkor, who rebelled, who's basically like Satan, and he created dragons and orcs and things like that. So all the bad
Okay.
shit that comes from him.
I mean, okay, I can kind of get behind that. Like, I think my great issue in fantasy storytelling is when things have no rules. Which I think is, weirdly enough, is Rick's issue with it. It's like, there's no rules in magic, no rules in fantasy. That's my issue with it, is like, I feel like that's kind of lazy in a way. If you start introducing a
Yeah.
fantasy world and you say, oh, well, these things just exist just because they do, and because it's convenient to the story. But that's looked over, I think, in the fantasy genre where it wouldn't be elsewhere. Like, if you were watching, like an action movie, and, there just happens to be a gun on this table that The Rock can use to do whatever. That would be,
Yeah.
well, that was a dumb plot hole. But in fantasy, it's, it just happens to be that this race of lizard people exist, or whatever. And that,
Yes.
but then that gets looked over, because it's like, well, they just do. It's just law. It's what happens in the world. That kind of bugs me about fantasy, is that plot holes almost don't exist. It feels a bit more lazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that like, Lord of the Rings and like Game of Thrones, they have like defined rules, which is good.
Yeah, I
Then
think
then you know where it ends.
I think that's the angle I come at it from, is that it's not that I don't like fantasy, it's that I don't like lazy storytelling, and fantasy
Yeah.
is lazy storytelling is commonplace in fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, space, like sci-fi, sort of like spatial fantasy has a sort of monopoly on it though, because space is like
Yeah,
infinite.
like in Star
So you-
Wars. Yeah.
yeah, so you can just fart out any alien that you want, you know, which isn't against the rules, because that, you know, space is so huge. Like, it's like, obviously there could be a being like this because, you know, the universe is
You
so
run the
massive.
numbers, and there probably is. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, you know, it's a bit of a weird one.
And it's one of the reasons I've never quite got into Star Wars. Is like, you watch, like, I understand the original trilogy is about the human drama, but then you watch, say, the prequels, and you'll think, well, this is kind of shit. Like, it's lazy fantasy storytelling. But it's in space. That's different and new. And I think
Yeah.
I sometimes I can't overlook that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek, I always look at Star Trek as a sort of, like, sitcom in space, if you know what I mean. It's like there's a group of characters that we stick with every week, and then there's like a sort of, you know, they explore, which is a great sort of premise.
Yeah.
Because you can really just do whatever you want because you've set out. It's like, look, we're explorers and we're gonna find some new shit. You know, that's fine. But like Star Wars, it's like, there's an evil empire, and we'll just sort of add species as we go along, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
You know, in that way. Because it's because it's an opera. You know, it's meant to be a huge sort of epic drama.
Sure.
Rather than a self-contained story.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Here's a question. Why does the dragon have a Tesla? What would he do with it?
I don't know.
Just likes looking at it and thinking that it's shiny.
Yeah. So if I was human, I could drive that. I don't know. Maybe he just likes the look of it. Have you got a theory as to why he might have one?
No, not really. I thought perhaps it could be something to do with, like, that Tesla that went to
Elon
Mars.
Tusk.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it is Elon Tusk. Maybe it'll be revealed that Elon Tusk will, like, pull off his mask and it's Evil Morty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
we had to get Evil Morty in there somewhere.
Yeah, those are the go-tos of our ones.
Yeah. That's like I think people are just like dying to see Evil Morty by this point.
Oh, definitely. No, I am.
It's just, but I'm sort of apprehensive because I want it to. I don't want it to be sort of like Avengers: Infinity War, where there's like a million sequels after the fact, and you already know that they're all going to survive. I mean, I want it to be completely surprising. I want, like, you know, things can change rather than, oh, they're all dead. Oh, wait, they're back. You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's one of the major criticisms I have with the Marvel films. It's like Infinity War was a great film, and like if it was kept and the consequences were kept,
even
then
better.
fine.
Yeah.
Amazing. But no, of course they had to be brought back because there's like fucking 10 films in the future
and then
already with these characters.
And you watch it and you think, oh well, I mean, like Black Panther dies, and you think, well, I mean, he's got like another film coming out. Plus his first film made so much money that they're not gonna, even if they could kill him off, they aren't gonna.
Yep.
Here's a question. Does Rick care about being cancelled? Does Summer's threat about tweeting about him and cancelling him, does that mean anything?
Maybe it's more of a sort of. I think maybe. I don't see how he could though.
Be cancelled?
Yeah.
I
No,
he's
no.
not
I mean,
very
I
famous
don't.
in the world, is he?
No, I mean, like, I don't see how he can care. You know, because why the fuck would he care?
I mean, he doesn't care about anything yet. Maybe he loves Twitter. Maybe Rick loves Twitter.
Yeah, maybe it's a commentary on how vacuous and vapid people are. Because, you know, how maybe we're all miserable, and that's why we like Twitter, because we like sort of telling people that we're right. Maybe that's a wee tidbit there.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a bit of commentary.
Here's another question. Is the wizard more powerful than Rick, since the wizard magic works everywhere, but Rick's science doesn't work in the magic realm?
maybe then. I suppose he could be.
Okay, good stuff. I tell you what, while we've got some time left in this episode, what in the name of God was the Jerry storyline about? I feel like that I'm way too stupid to understand what any of that meant, or it was just deliberately confusing. I really didn't understand it at all.
I mean, it's like the cat just appeared out of nowhere, and Rick was like, "No, it's not me. It's like an anomaly. I'm not responsible for everything."
Yeah.
And this cat who can talk for some reason just sort of convinces Jerry to let go a little bit, and Jerry goes out and has some fun, and then and then at the end, obviously Rick and Jerry sees what the cat has done or has been through to get to where it's at.
Yeah.
And Rick almost kills himself.
He does, which is crazy.
It's that horrific, which is like Rick's only ever done that once in the show. With Unity, when he's been so miserable that he tries to kill himself, and he was drunk. Like, no, a cat. What could Rick have seen? Do you think?
I have no idea.
To make him kill himself, and why didn't Jerry immediately die then? Like,
Jerry immediately die?
Yeah, if Rick was so distraught by it that he was thinking about killing himself, why wasn't Jerry just fucking tearing his throat out?
That's a good point. He did vomit a whole bunch.
Yeah, but why didn't he just die? Why didn't he just jump off a cliff? If you know,
maybe
if it's enough to make Rick nearly kill himself, Jerry should have just been died of shock.
I suppose it's
basilisk.
I suppose it's a thing where, like, I think the idea of suicide just doesn't enter some people's heads in a way. Like, Rick has been depressed. Rick is alcoholic. There's a fighting chance that he has thought about suicide in some way at some point. Maybe Jerry just isn't like that. That thought just doesn't come into Jerry's head. Maybe,
because one of his quotes is like, "Life is effort, and I'll stop when I die." Like, that's just sort of. So I'm just gonna plod along life until it's over, which is because Jerry is so mundane. I don't think he has any like sort of concepts of like existentialism or anything like that. So it's just like maybe that was the start of it before Rick obviously took his memory away.
That's a good point.
I mean, it was a great moment though. I was shocked. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's what a great, just sort of a. I don't know what the point was.
No, I don't know what the point was of the story. It's like, is it about hedonism in some way that I'm too dumb to comprehend? Are both the stories interlinked in some way?
Dan Harmon said that some of the stories will have a message, some of them will be about nothing, and some of them will be serialized. So, I mean, maybe he just thought, look, I want to take the piss out of dragons, and there's a cat that can talk. Just like, fair enough.
If we see those dragons again now, we'll be looking at the season 5 thing. Which one was the pointless one?
Yeah, I love how sexually active the dragons are. Like, they're just obsessed.
Yeah.
He's like, do you want to maybe come over to Morty and stuff like that? And Morty's like, look, I'm not really in the mood. He's like, well, I could come into yours and that. It's just like so obsessed with soul bonding. Would you soul bond with a dragon, Lewis?
No.
I would.
Would you?
I definitely would.
I don't know. I don't really know what it entails. I think that's why.
Rick looked as if he was having a great time. I want to experience that one.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah.
That looked fantastic. Oh.
That
was a stretch. It wasn't an audio of my encouragement for that sort of behaviour.
Do you remember the episode with the car? Keep Summer safe.
Yes.
Yeah, that one, where Summer said something along the lines of like, what is it, the quantum radiator or the whatever, the quantum carburetor. That was it. And Rick said, "What, quantum carburetor? You can't just put together a car word and a sci-fi word and make a part for the car." And then in this episode, when they were landing in the desert, Rick said, "Oh yeah, the quantum radiator might need some nano water." It's like I
that what
quite
he
like
said?
that. Yeah, that's what he said.
Wow.
I quite
That's
like that.
pretty-
It's a nice little nod to that other episode.
That is a good one. I mean, Rick is just such a hypocrite.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just love that he's just he doesn't. He's a bit like us, Lewis. He doesn't stick to the formula that he says he's going to stick with. It's like, right, okay, opening statement. But wait a minute, I've got another thing about fucking papers.
Oh, that'd be funny if it wasn't true.
I know, it's true.
It's very true.
It's too true. What do you think the next episode is going to be about?
I don't know, because at one point Rick did say, "Oh, I've got to go and see Jerry. Big season finale there." It's like, well, really? What's the big season finale with Rick and Jerry? What could it possibly be?
Yeah, I'm gonna. So, the next episode is called Rattlestar Ricklactica.
Oh my god. Right.
Wow. So that's obviously Battlestar Galactica.
I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. I have not
Neither
seen
have I.
this upcoming episode of Rick and Morty. I hope it's good.
So do I. It's a weird one. Weird episode this week.
It is, although somehow it makes
there's
more
not-
sense than the previous episode.
Yeah, that one. I think I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, the first two episodes had clear, defined meanings, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And I could definitely tell what they were going for, but for this one, it was just like I don't really know what they're trying to say. So maybe they're not saying anything. You know, maybe it's just a fun story that's just random.
Yeah, and then next week
Which
will be
is-
a clear, defined, serialized meaning.
Or maybe not. Or maybe it'll be a season finale that says, "Haha, you thought we were going to do something with Evil Morty, get it up, yeah," or something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rick looks to the camera and says, "Yeah, we're not doing Evil Morty till season 5, so fuck you." Do you know what I mean? Like,
That'd be kind of great. I hope that does happen.
so do I. I think that'd be pretty funny. Nice wee bit of tea there. That's nice.
Oh, slurp that tea down. Get a nice lubricated throat. I finished my coffee, so now I'm sat here looking at my notes thinking,
What is the point of life?
yeah, now I'm just jumpy instead. I
mean, I like the fact that the cat and the dragon form a little relationship at the end.
Yeah, that was cute and weird.
That was nice. And then the guy who drives up masks for a bit of sex with the dragon. And then the dragon destroys his car and he shouts slut. Like, what the fuck?
That was really weird.
I'm sure that's happened plenty of times in the real world.
What, a dragon destroyed a car?
No, I'm sure that someone out there has been propositioned with the idea of sex, and when that person says no, they're just immediately called a slut.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, does it? Those two
No.
meanings, they don't work.
No. I think we've witnessed a dragon revolution, Lewis.
We might have witnessed a dragon revolution. You're right.
A sexual revolution of dragons.
Which is strange, but I guess kind of cool.
Yeah. I've never thought sexually about dragons before.
Neither have I. And I
Yet
don't think I
again.
ever will again.
But yet again, my expectations have been subverted.
About heist films and now about dragons.
Yep. What's next? What's next?
I tell you something I did quite like. I liked
Go
that the wizard's wand, when he made that portal, it made the same noise as Rick's portal, and it looked quite visually similar. I liked that.
Yeah, but there's writing on it.
Yeah,
and
that was
Rick criticises the writing. He's like, who writes in a fucking portal? It's like, it's just sort of just nitpicking. Because maybe the point is that sci-fi and fantasy are like natural enemies, and maybe Dan Harmon is sort of saying they're not that different when you think about it.
Because they aren't different when you think about it.
Yeah, they both rely on very outlandish things to make their stories go.
I think
Which is,
For me, sci-fi is more about like near future than it is about. It's a billion years in the future. Everyone you know and love is dead. Do you know what I mean? And the world is completely changed and stuff like that. So I think things like, say, Blade Runner, or like that's because that's near future, or even things like Big Hero 6, because that's near future.
Or Black Mirror.
Exactly, yeah. Because it's, as I say, this near future thing. It's like, what are the potential ramifications of this science-based thing? That's science fiction to me. Like, what are the ramifications of being able to rate everybody you have an interaction with? And what are the ramifications of Hiro's brother dying and leaving this health robot there, or whatever? Do you know what I mean? I like those sort of sci-fi stories. And I think that's
definitely.
That's what I like about that's the sci-fi I like is near future, because it asks big important questions, and I like that.
I like it too. It's good. It's good stuff.
Danny, we've got 5 minutes left. Is there anything you want to say? That's some good pondering.
Ponds are weird, aren't they?
Pawns?
Ponds.
Okay, yeah. As in, I thought you meant the chess piece. As in a body of water.
Yeah, a wee pond.
Yeah, that is quite strange. Where's that come from?
I don't know. I mean, we've got less than 5 minutes now, so just do a wee 5-minute bullshit. We cheeky bullshit. We nugget of bullshit there.
Okay. Why do you think ponds are weird?
Because they're like mini lakes.
Okay.
And they're just
there in your garden with some fish and
yeah, just weird looking little things, and like even despite how small they are, you can still drown in them.
I mean, that's a human biology flaw, not a pond flaw.
I mean, I'm looking at it as a sort of mockery of people who look
hubris. Yeah.
At sea, like anyone who's like died in a pond. If there's like an afterlife, everyone up there will be laughing their arses off at them. It's like, how could you drown in a pond? What? Maybe that's why whoever is in charge of the universe put them there. It's like, right, wait a minute. Let's see if any fucking numpty out there is gonna die in one of these. And then when someone does, like, they're all sitting there laughing at him, and he's like, it's not funny. Oh, I drowned. It's like, I bet you drowned in a pond. What the fuck are you doing, you stupid dick? So don't drown in ponds, kids.
If you can avoid it, yeah.
If you're gonna drown, drown at sea like a normal person.
I mean, do try not to drown at all, and we do swear quite a bit, so I hope there are no kids listening. But if you are listening, kids, don't drown. Try and avoid drowning.
If you are listening, kids, why are you listening? We've put a disclaimer out there for older specimen. What are you doing? Wait, isn't there a Logan Paul video that you could be watching or something like that? Or
oh God.
KSI or what's that other guy's name, Lewis?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, or just vapid nobodies. Just watch them, and then let grow up a wee bit.
Right. Okay. And where can people find you online, Danny?
We don't even get a closing statement.
Of course we get a closing statement. Go on, have a closing statement.
Wait a minute. Don't pretend, right, that you just intentionally said, and where can people... We didn't do one last week.
That's true, it's true.
Because we're so lazy. We're just, this is... Do you know what? I'm gonna tear down the fourth wall that isn't even there, right?
Okay,
There's a fifth wall that I'm gonna knock down. We record shouting into the void before we do this, right? And because it's an hour of talking, the reason that we come across so deflated and so lazy is because we're just tired, right? But do you know what? From now on, the last episode, we're gonna take it really I'm gonna take it really seriously.
I'm gonna take it really seriously as well.
Yep. So what is your closing statement, Lewis?
My closing statement is, as I finished the episode, I thought, what the hell was that? I don't understand what any of it means. And while I'm not sure if I still do, I think it's an interesting subversion of the genre of fantasy. I enjoyed it. It was weird, and I didn't understand it really, but I liked it. What's yours?
Excellent. I was very confused. I was very startled by how shockingly absurd this episode is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was half an hour of my life that I'm very glad that I gave away to Mr. Harmon and Mr. Royland. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
So now, Danny, where can people find you online?
They can find me at my Instagram at O'Hiram. They can also find me on Twitter at Kerso2000. They can also find me on Facebook, my Facebook page, which is Daniel Kerr. Where can people find you, Lewis Brindley?
Well, Daniel Kerr, they can find me on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley, Twitter LewisBrindley4, and my Facebook page is Lewis Brindley. It's a picture of my face, smiling. That's the picture. It's at lewis.brindley.official, if that helps.
Yeah.
I am a bit Facebook ignorant, so that's good.
Give it a cheeky like.
Yep.
Give it a wee follow.
Like it, follow
Yep,
it, share
please.
it, whatever needs doing.
Exactly. Join our Patreon.
Yeah, you can check us out on
give-
Patreon.
Give us money. And Spotify. We're on Spotify as well. We've got a YouTube channel.
Yep, we're on
I'm
Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Yep.
We're on the actual
Google.
website, shoutingintothevoidpodomatic.com.
we're on Google as well, aren't we, Lewis?
I don't know.
I'm sure I've seen that we were on Google Podcasts. I don't know.
I don't know if Google Podcasts even exists, man.
Well, it does now. No,
Well, we're everywhere, but please, if you enjoy it, please do share this podcast. It is a great help to us. Thank you very much for listening. Oh, Jesus, it's the final
yeah.
it's the finale
Dragon-
episode next week.
dragon
It's gonna be so
orgasms.
good.
Dragon
Jesus, I can't wait
orgasms.
to watch that
Oh,
episode. It's
so
gonna be the
fun
season
with
finale.
a
It's gonna
dragon
be so
nose.
good. I can't wait
It's
to
gonna
see
be
it. Oh my
amazing.
God.
Evil Morty.
Season 5.
Evil
It's the
Morty
last
season.
episode, season 5.